hate puppies.
It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Here, week of the national championship. We'll
That's
find
right.
out
Who's playing in the match?
in the match. Yes, by the time this is over, everyone will know the answer. But tonight, we do not. We do not. We will be watching it live.
Tip-offs in 40 minutes.
Oh,
Which
really?
is-
I thought it was 9:40.
9:20, I think.
Oh.
So ridiculously late, the
That is
national
late.
championship
West
game
Coast.
every year. Is that all it is? Because they want to make sure the West Coast people get a
Yeah,
chance to
For
see it.
sure.
There's never a West Coast team in it.
Yeah, but I guess the bettors are in the West Coast, Vegas.
You never really think about that, but the idea that their football is at 10-1 is crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing, though. You wake
Right.
up in the morning.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Even Central Time's great. Just that 1 hour difference.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you wake up and there's kind of just you're having your coffee, watching the pregame. It's nice.
And then you're just blasted by 4 o'clock,
Right.
and you've watched 2 full games.
Yeah, that's the beauty of West Coast sports, though, is you get to watch like the big games during happy hour.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's
You're in bed early. You're probably far more effective from a work standpoint
Yeah.
if you're a West Coaster.
You're eating breakfast food when the first game kicks off.
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I never remember when I lived in Arizona. I never remember it being that sweet. But I was also like, from like 10 to 14, I wasn't drinking a lot.
Yeah. Just
so-
barely.
Just barely, 1 or 2 beers.
Yeah,
Didn't matter what hour.
lightweight.
Yeah.
I was not a strong drinker. I've made up for it.
You've
in
caught
time.
up.
I certainly have. So it's been a couple weeks since we've been on here because last week we had the B-Sides episode.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Came out, which I actually enjoyed doing the B-Sides episode. I think that's something we should do maybe once every 5 weeks or something.
I agree.
I thought it was good.
It's the easiest episode ever. All the topics are just
It gets
right
rid
in
of
front
old
you.
topics, too.
Yeah, I came out here today and had a panic attack. I came walking out and I looked at the board. I was like, "What topics do we? Oh God,
Nothing.
there's
They're all
nothing.
gone.
There's nothing here." I was like, "I better come up with something."
You got something? What you got?
Nothing.
Okay.
No. Didn't.
Let's do...
I did get a random text from a listener that was like Dawson. In reference to
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Brennan's Dawson Creek.
Yeah, sometimes you just
Love.
you admit to something and then you regret it immediately.
Yeah.
I've definitely caught a lot of flack for it, unfortunately.
That's what makes the show great, though. That you open up like that
I do like a flower.
and you show, you share.
I did get
your
a text from a listener who said their wife said 2. What did that mean?
2.
2. Yeah, I don't know what that meant.
The wife said 2.
It was right after an episode, and I can't remember what we were talking about.
I don't know what reference you would just drop 2 on.
Yeah. So-and-so said, my wife said 2.
Hit us back up because now I want to
Yeah.
know, man.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that Dawson's thing kind of reared its head on me a little bit. Saw a guy I haven't seen in forever. He's like, "So Dawson's, huh?" I was like,
Really?
yeah.
Nice.
Had to go through it. I was like, well, it's actually all right. Then I saw like the Mighty Ducks the next day after that episode, like Mighty Ducks like 4 or 5 or something, and I didn't realize
No
that
one watches those, do they?
I never saw any of them.
You never saw one?
No.
Oh.
But I heard it was
One
awesome.
was awesome.
One's awesome.
I feel like I was a little older when it came out.
Maybe.
Well, I was definitely an old man watching Mighty Ducks like 4 the other day, and Pacey was in it, and I was like, oh.
How'd that end? Let me guess they won.
Is that Katy Perry?
Yeah, they did. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
she looks awful with that blonde short hair.
I think Katy Perry looks good all the time, period.
Yeah, but she looks gooder.
Yeah, more gooder, I would say.
Yeah.
Sure.
With dark hair.
Yeah,
And
but
long
now-
Long
hair.
dark hair.
I mean, it's just long hair to me. The
Okay.
short hair throws me for a loop.
Yeah. Makes you feel like you're with the Beebs again.
Well, short, I mean, like, short could be like shoulder length, but that's just straight, like, went to the barbershop and got the old number 2 or whatever. Like,
Like Brigitte Nielsen would be hotter with long hair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the answer to that ever no?
No, it's very rare that you would see
Can
it.
you think of one?
Oh, there's
Halle Berry?
somebody. Yeah, Halle Berry looks pretty good with that short hair. But she also looks great with long hair.
Ellen.
Yes, I'll give you Ellen.
Nailed
it.
Well played, Ely. You know your hotties.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
give you that. Pulling out
That
references.
kills me.
Yeah, no, I don't know. My wife cut her hair like much shorter, and she knows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
Recently?
knows. Yeah, I mean it's short by, and she came home and was like ready for the compliments.
You started puking?
I was just like, no, I
know
certainly-
what it is. I can't stop.
Or you
Cool.
pulling up a picture?
No, wife was texting me. I got that smartphone watch. That,
Yeah, I got one,
like,
the hybrid watch.
Yeah, that vibrates when she texts me, so I know if it's her. Like anyone else could have texted me, I knew it wouldn't be her, but I have her in there. So
Interesting.
it's actually a pretty sweet feature.
What else can you do with
I
a
like it.
hybrid watch?
So basically, the hybrid watch looks like a watch.
It's an
as you
analog
can see.
watch.
Analog watch.
Show it to the camera.
Yeah, but
like, so she just texted me, so it
Does the other watch?
No, like
Your
your smart.
Samsung watch looks like a regular watch.
Most smart, like the Apple
Yeah, but-
Watch looks like a. I mean, it's ugly.
Yeah, but the Samsung watch, which you are,
Yeah.
the Gear watch looks like a regular watch.
Yeah, and so it's more of a hybrid smartwatch then. It's not like a full, like it won't have a screen that you can like pull up and have a digital screen. Then it doesn't look, it's not a true analog watch then.
I didn't say it was an analog watch. I said it looks like a
Yeah.
watch.
Fossil does that too now,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
have the smartwatches that look like it.
Yeah.
But when you really look at them, they don't look like an analog watch.
These are a lot cheaper too. Like mine was like $90.
so
it
basically
looks like that, but you want the analog is what you want.
Yeah, because it stays on all the time. Like, because like a regular, those watches, you get like what, a day battery life.
You have
if
to
you
charge
have
them.
the
Yeah,
display
these
on
just
all the
have
time.
batteries in them.
This
Regular
has-
battery.
Yeah, the 6-month battery, and then they replace the battery for free anytime
what
I
does
take
that
it
do?
there. So the 3 buttons on the side of this watch,
Mm-hmm.
I can program to do one of 20 functions. So I go into the Fossil app
Mm-hmm.
and like say, okay, assign top button to do this, middle button to do this. I have mine set up to pause and stop music.
Or podcast.
Skip songs, turn music
What
up,
else can
turn
you do?
music
though? 'Cause
down.
I can't see how you're not hampered by not being able to read anything.
Well, you are. You don't have a full smartwatch. I just have to
So
look
what
at my
can
phone.
you do? All you do is pause things.
Yeah, pause things, start things, run stopwatches. You can just set it up to do like 20 functions. It also tells you your steps, tells you how you've slept, all that kind of stuff. It notifies you who's texting by switching the arms.
How does
point
it tell
to
you that? It doesn't tell you that.
1, it goes to 1 when my
Or
wife
whatever
texts,
you set it
But I
to.
could set 12 different people. So like I
Okay.
look over and go, oh,
Like I
that's
have
that
3
person.
on mine. 1 is my wife. If Brendan texts me, it's 3. Or text or call, and my buddy Billy is 6. So the hands will just flip over to 1 real quick for a few seconds, and then they'll flip back and they'll vibrate. So I'll know it's one of those 3 people. And I'll look at it.
One of my favorite
Then you
functions-
determine if you want to take the thing out of your pocket or not.
One of my favorite things is like when I land somewhere, it automatically updates to whatever time zone I'm in.
Yeah.
I just get a kick out of that. Like my phone, land on the plane, my phone connects, and all of a sudden my watch just
Well, you
shifts.
taught me the whole start-stop podcast thing, and since I'm always listening to podcasts, I just hit this
I
button.
love that because like in my car, my phone is always running the stereo, and so like I'm driving along, and like I don't want to hear this song, I'll just tap my watch and go to the next song. Or when you're laying there in bed or something, you're listening to a podcast, or you're working in the yard, you got your
Yeah.
headphones on, just hit the watch, stop it.
It just hit me. So here in my head, I was thinking, none of this makes any sense to me. I don't see the fucking point in any of that. But then I realized I'm not a watch person, and you guys are.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
exactly what it is.
Yes, I always have watches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I like the analog looking watch. I like the way a watch looks.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I mean, come on, I'm always wearing bracelets and shit. I'm an accessory guy. So.
Yeah.
Why don't you like watches?
I hit them on things.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, that's because you're always wrenching on stuff, and I find myself.
I always get things dirty. I've come to the realization that no matter what I do, I get dirty. If I got nice clothes on, I'll
Yeah.
rub across the car.
That's
and
how I
get
am.
a brown streak on my shit. You know what I mean? Everything I do, I get fucking watch. I just hit it on stuff. And to me, the only reason that a watch would be cool would to be able to do all the shit that doesn't do.
I've always liked
because you want to be able to look at your text, see all that. Yeah, and that's what I wanted. But the more I was like holding the smartwatch and then holding the hybrid, I was like, fuck it. The hybrid does all those things. It interacts with my phone, but
I'm trying to get away from my phone is why I like the hybrid, because I don't have to go to my phone as much.
That's backwards. So you'd want to get away from your phone by getting a phone that did what your phone did.
I don't have to look at it so much.
But
no,
that's
he's
backwards.
He's saying if the watch always did all that shit, but in my
you
mind,
wouldn't have to use it.
Yeah,
less.
but if the watch did it, you're still on your phone. You're basically doing everything. You're still checking every message on your phone. Because I have friends that have smartwatches, and they're constantly just instead of looking at their phone, they're looking at their watch.
It's just another screen that I constantly have to see. That's more accessible. It's actually, the more I started messing with it, the more I realized I just don't want this.
I got you.
So. And charging it daily sucks. You already have to charge your phone daily. You got to take it on and off, charge it every night.
I do love seeing how many steps I've taken.
Yeah.
You realize I've never taken 10,000 steps since Christmas?
Really?
Apparently, I don't do shit. Now, when I go to the gym, I take my watch off. So, like, there's probably been days where...
Yeah, but that's only a few hundred steps.
I've done it. But, yeah, like, I go through a day in my life, and I'm like, 1,500 steps. Like, you're dying.
Yeah.
Like, my watch is going to one day just turn to me and be like, if you don't keep doing something, then I'm not going to have any risk to be on.
Yeah.
We were in Charleston. I was doing like 18,000, 15,000. We walked so much.
Yeah, how was that bachelor party?
It was awesome, man. If you've never been to Charleston, definitely go.
Oh, it's a good-ass time,
We
man.
stayed right downtown off King Street. Got a dope Airbnb, beautiful house. There was 8 of us, and we could walk everywhere. But you didn't think anywhere, like, a place was a mile away, you just walk.
Yeah.
Like, weather. Oh, dude, the weather was in the 70s, breezy, sunny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Enjoy it now. Yeah.
Everyone was all dolled up. All the girls were beautiful and dressed to the nines.
And College of Charleston is full of hot women.
And all I could think of when you just now were talking about getting dirty, like all the women were wearing white pants. And I literally said to my buddies, I'm like, who does that? Like,
yeah.
If I put on a pair of white pants, like I would immediately have something all over them.
Right.
In no time flat.
And then, like, you go out on and we were like, we're the older, underdressed dudes. Like, Friday, we got there Thursday night, and then Friday night when we went out, like, all the dudes are rocking khakis and, like, button-ups and blazers. Like, they were all, like, prepped up, and we're, like, T-shirts and jeans. But it was a good time. Cool bars, great weather, had a blast. Nobody got arrested. No crazy stories. Nobody.
That's good and bad.
Yeah.
At least you got through it.
I mean, I was the youngest guy on the trip. I mean, it's like
gross.
This was the last buddy of ours to get married, and it was just like we've all done it a million times. So it was more just a fun hang with the friends, your college friends. Just how you get your college friends together, you just laugh your ass off for an entire weekend.
Yeah. Talk shit about shit don't actually do.
Yeah. Or shit you did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that time?
Glory days.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever get by the Nectar Factory?
I did. Me and 3 guys went over there. Sean was out of town. He was in Santiago.
Of course.
Yeah. And and we each picked out a couple pair and got the hookup. And
did you get the ITPH thing squared away?
Yeah. I had a couple listeners reach out, say that the code was not working, but
I guess
Sean
that thing resets every 3 months. And if we're not on top of it, then it goes away.
So thank you, listeners, and if that happens again, just reach out to us. Sean is more than happy to accommodate us, but he can
get it hooked up.
He's a busy man. He did it instantly. As soon as I texted him 5 minutes later, he was like, "You're good."
There you go. So 30% off.
Yeah,
you drop
30%.
ITPH in the coupon code over at Nectar Sunglasses. And they got a lot of new shit that just came out.
They got a lot.
Too.
I saw a lot of stuff that's not even out yet that was really cool looking.
Was it all for chicks, or was any of it stuff you would wear?
Oh, yeah, definitely stuff I would wear.
Oh, nice. Because I saw a lot. Like, they released a whole line. I was like, oh, man, my wife's going to be psyched. But it was all, like, stuff for chicks. So
yeah. And they just got an order of 20,000 pairs. So, I mean, the warehouse is just stacked.
So is it pretty big?
Hard to tell because it was so full.
Just boxes.
You couldn't
on
see
boxes.
like literally the boxes were 8 feet high. So like we went in the back, but like we didn't walk to the back of the back. Like we didn't. So it was cool though.
I got to get out there and check it out. I was
Did
supposed
you give him
to
a safety assessment while you were there?
I just looked away, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I look away at a lot of places. It's just out of my jurisdiction.
Right.
Dude, I saw you doing some weird stuff for work the other day.
Yeah, man. I had to. I went out of town and did some fireworks testing for the Commonwealth of Virginia. All the fireworks.
So
come
snakes
through.
and sparklers. They fire up snakes and sparklers, and they have
Pretty
some
much, dude. It's a
fucking pyrotechnic nerd to be like, "This is pretty dangerous."
It's
what do
pretty
you do?
strict.
Like put like a line like at the NFL Combine. Like this is
yeah,
your vertical
basically we
leap,
got
and
this-
if it goes above that, it does not make it by the Commonwealth standards.
Draw out a 32-foot circle. We got this thing that goes in the middle that's 5 meters high, and nothing can shoot outside of that circle or higher than that 5 meters.
So as long as it's lame enough to stay within
Just
those
lame enough,
boundaries.
yep. And we failed a lot.
Seriously?
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Are any of them ones that had passed the year before, and then this year you try it out?
You know, I don't know. Whoever names those things are hilarious.
Yeah.
Some of them are just so funny. But I mean, it's just crazy because some of these, cases were setting off. I mean, one firework will be like $50, $80, and it's like,
and
just
they're
rolling
crap.
through them. Yeah, but it's the only crap you can have around here, which is funny because where we are right now, you can't have sparklers.
That's like our county.
Yeah, our
thing.
county regulation
So
is
we got the
no
lamest,
fireworks.
the lamest
So-
county in the lamest state.
And there's a lot of counties like that in
it's ludicrous.
in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
That's so dumb.
But fireworks are dangerous as shit.
So did you take
Yeah.
any notes? Like, what is the one that really pushes the limits by Virginia standards?
So each company sends 5 to test, and we would test 3 at a time. And if they fail, we test the other 2. All the ones that fail were the cool ones. So
Of
then we had
course.
to test the other 2.
So you don't have any that you were like,
No.
it hits the outer limits but didn't cross.
You won't see them on the shelves.
Damn it!
There
So you
wa-
got no pointers.
There
for
was
us.
there were some really lame ones like snakes and sparklers style. There was one
Yeah.
that was like this little cardboard cut out of a dog, and I forget what it was called. It had a black lab on it, and it had a light here. The fuse was at the tail, and basically you lit the fuse, and basically it looked like the dog was taking a crap. It was a snake coming out of the back of the
Did
dog.
you pass it?
That one passed.
Good. At least it's humorous,
Yeah,
but not dangerous.
not dangerous. Good to go.
Yeah. Next time you do that, you got to take some notes and be like, "This is the best one you can get in Virginia."
But it is funny, like
Just so I know which piece of shit to buy when my kids are like,
But you just
stop
go buy
there.
them somewhere else.
Well, yeah, because I'm a grown up. I buy everything in South Carolina.
Yeah.
But it is funny, like
I'm a Jabs.
one
guy.
of the regulations is they have to, after they're done, we have to sit them off to the side for 30 minutes to make sure that they don't spontaneously catch fire.
Well, that doesn't happen.
happens all the time.
Really? So you would see
Yeah.
ones that 20 minutes later would
Yep.
just boof.
Yep. Well, dude, at the end of the day, we literally had one just go boom, and I don't know, like
It was
what
on the
went wrong.
past. It was on the past list.
it was
and all of a
all-
sudden
it
you're
was-
like, and fail.
It was already on the fail list, but it was like, okay. And then we had a burn barrel going to like burn the trash when we were done, and then like, of course, some of them the whole thing didn't go off, so you put them in the burn barrel, and a few minutes later, just shooting out the top of the burn barrel.
Well, it
it's
all
fun.
sounds safe.
I think this test is unsafe. They should have a test for the test.
That's why we're professionals, and we're in the middle of a parking lot.
That's got to be an all right day, though.
It was
It's
fun.
The day
The
at
weather
the
was
office,
nice.
lighting off fireworks all day.
Yeah.
There's worse things to do.
Yeah, I'll take that. Like some state worse than us, who's only can go 3 meters high and within 15 feet. That would be brutal.
I guess doing the real ones would be the best one, right? As long as you don't
Absolutely.
blow yourself up.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get into airspace,
Yeah.
then we can shoot it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Some guy up in a helicopter like, that was too close. You know, that's how I want to test them. That's the South Carolina
Have you
way.
ever had a firework malfunction?
Oh, I've seen some go like a mortar that
Yeah.
didn't go up as high as it
Yep.
should, like just out of the tube and explode.
Yeah. We had one explode on ground level a couple years ago. Scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty close to losing some digits for
Yeah,
sure.
we were in Virginia Beach, and my brother-in-law was setting them off, and I don't know what malfunction, but it went off right at ground level and just shot sparks everywhere. Nobody got hurt, luckily.
Made in China, sold in South Carolina. I don't know which is worse.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just-
you got to think too. Like you said, they're made in China, and they're all handmade. They're all different, so Doesn't take much.
Yeah, I guess it's like a cigar.
Yeah.
Like this one might not have runs. This one might just keep going out. I mean, like you don't know.
Yep.
Well, thanks for doing the Lord's work, Troy.
Hey, I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, you're the best. Dude, I was in I went to New York for work this past week, which New York is always like anytime I go to New York, I'm blown away. I'm just like, God, this is a big ass city. Like you just forget about it. But I found a little hole in the wall that I was pretty psyched about. And I'm wondering how many listeners know about this, because in one way or another, if you're going to New York, you'll end up at Grand Central Station at some point. I mean, it's the hub, you know, of all the trains coming in and out. And we were in Grand Central Station, or actually I was on the other side of town, but my buddy's like, I gotta go to Grand Central. I'm gonna stop by Campbell's apartment. And I'm like, Campbell's apartment? I was like, I don't even know no Campbell.
I don't know this guy.
Yeah. We don't even know no old Jim. So I was like, what the hell is Campbell's apartment? And he's like, it's a spot. I guess there was this family called the Campbells back in like the 1800s. They built Grand Central Station, and these guys were like, I want an apartment in Grand Central Station. So like in the 1800s, they live at the only place that can get you anywhere in the country.
Wow.
You know, they're right there at the spot. So they built this like ridiculous apartment right there in Grand Central. And to this day, you can go over to it. And I guess like the sitting area downstairs is like a really high-end badass bar. But you have to know it's there to even know about it. Like you got to go up to the northeast corridor and like head outside and then walk around. And then there's just a door and it says Campbell Apartment. You swing open the door and it's every high-end and, you know, badass woman there like getting ready to either go home or go out for the night from work, and they just came into Grand Central and go there. I was blown away at this spot.
Yeah?
It was badass. Cool? Yeah, and everything in there is like original old school.
It's a bar?
Yeah, apparently in the 20s it was a speakeasy. Like they turned this one spot into a speakeasy, and then there was another spot that What are you eyeballing over there, Ely? You're
that
freaking me out.
Camera is pointing towards. There we go. Jackpot.
There you go.
Checking out the rest of the room.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is he looking
Panoramic.
at? Panoramic. Yes. But this was sweet.
Virtual
man.
tour.
I'd like to see how many people know about this Campbell's apartment. No.
0 so far.
0.
It's pretty sweet. If you're ever find yourself at Grand Central Station, it was packed. And everyone in there was talking like, oh, you know, the angel investors were in today. They only want to give me $20 million. I said, go fucking pound sand. I was like, what kind of place am I in?
Yeah.
Like,
you fit right in, didn't you?
Oh, totally. Totally. As I'm sipping my $12 Heineken, you know, like, wow, that's expensive. But like my buddy got a drink. It was $25, but it was an amazing drink. I doubt it was $25 amazing. But everything in New York, you know, a Big Mac's $10.
I did have per Sean when we were in Charleston. He gave me some spots to go. We went to the spot called the Rare Bit, and they make they brew their own ginger beer. And I had the best Moscow Mule I'd ever had.
Spicy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. You get enough spice in your ginger beer, you
can make awesome.
Anything taste good.
Sounds amazing.
And it was just called The Bit?
The Rare Bit.
I'll have to check that out. I'll be down in Charleston a few times
on King
this summer.
Street.
I will check it out. Yeah, you should also check out Campbell Apartment when you want 1 to 2 drinks.
If I ever go back to New York, I haven't been to New York in, 9-10 years. Just don't get up there.
I try to get in and out as fast as possible.
Yeah, hit the Sbarro and then just bounce.
Basically.
Sbarro. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I love New York, but it's not for me. I couldn't live in New York. It's just a very different kind of place, man. Like I was at my boy's apartment, and he was, you know, it's a nice place. It was like the view was amazing, the location's amazing, but it's not like it's huge.
Yeah.
And he's paying 4 times my mortgage a month.
Wow.
And I was just like, damn, dude. Like that's crazy. But I mean, that's
cost
how
of
it
living
is.
up there.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I've got a yard. He's like, so?
And a lot more square footage.
Yeah, but he's overlooking the Hudson and staring right out over at Empire State Building. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, that's pretty sick, but you certainly pay for it. And that place isn't stopping. It's growing. They're still building everywhere.
It's crazy to think that the infrastructure can handle that, you know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm sure it can't.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, they did something. I couldn't believe this. They have like...
they spend money wisely there, though, so they'll probably fix it up.
Yes. Well, they found a new way to make a shit ton of money. I was in a cab, and we entered into a district that was now congested. And when you hit the congested district...
You pay a fee?
Boom. Like $15 hit the cab's fee.
Wow.
And I was like, what was that? He's like, yeah, as soon as it gets to congested time down in the financial district, you got to pay. And so if you drive your car into the financial district, boom, they hit you with this thing. So you have to try to avoid congested times. But if you're commuting in and out, you don't know when congested time is going to hit.
What I hate about it is it's always under construction, so there's always scaffolding everywhere, just marring up any cool architecture that might be there. It's like you're walking under scaffolding everywhere. Like you're in a tunnel to get from one place to another. And then you get in the train, which is in a tunnel. So it's weird.
It's better than spending $15 to drive down the wrong street.
Yeah.
I was like, God, that's brutal. And then I turned around and went to D.C. and made the mistake of cherry blossom season, spring break season, like all of the above, plus the
baseball
first
in full swing,
and the first nice days of spring.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so brutal to get around, and like lines to get into every museum. I was like, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like, what have I subjected myself to?
Yeah, that sucks.
It would take you 45 minutes to get, just like around the mall.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy yesterday at baseball practice, Dad, and he was up there. I think he said it took him 4.5 hours to get up there from here, which, for those that don't know, I mean, you can, without traffic, you can get up there an hour and a half, normally 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a shitty way to start your vacation.
I was in a Miata,
Sounds
though,
miserable.
so that was cool.
My thing with travel is I don't mind whatever the time is. It could be 2 hours. It could be 8 hours.
As long as you're moving.
If I know it's going to be that. But when it goes over either of that, then I start to lose my shit.
Yeah, it can be. It took me 2 hours to get from my parents' house to dinner one night. And I left at 4. We had reservations at 6, and I was like 20 minutes late to dinner. I was like, how the fuck?
And that's not that far away,
It's
right?
a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
Just screwed that up. But 'tis the season, apparently. I had no idea. And then after waiting in line all that time to get into like the air and space and natural history, I didn't realize that both of them are like under construction and like over half the exhibits are not open.
That sucks.
So I was like, oh, like I didn't get to see half the shit. My daughter bought a saber-toothed tiger stuffed animal. I was like, we didn't even see a saber-toothed tiger. Like, what are you doing? She's like, I like it.
Have
You did now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never done the cherry blossom thing. Is it cool?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I didn't know that they were like red. I always assumed they were just white, and even I could see that they were like pinkish, like reddish. I was like, oh, that is kind of cool. And then made the mistake after like a whole day in museums. I was like, hey, let's just go down to the wharf and just hang out by the water. Like, we'll get the kids ice cream. Cherry blossom palooza at the wharf. The cab was like, I don't know what's going on down here, but I'm not going in there. I'll let you out. Then we were stuck in there for like an hour and a half, couldn't get out because every asshole was there, like with their kids and hammered. And I was just like, oh, this was a mistake. Couldn't get in a single restaurant, couldn't do anything. So the kids are pissed off. The wife was pissed off. I was like, sweet.
Everybody's tired.
Yeah, I had a bunch of
Spring fucking break.
Yeah, spring break has certainly changed quite a bit. I did have 3 girls with me, but they were all pissed off, hungry, and costing a lot of money. Yeah. Only one of those things used to happen.
Yeah.
Just cost a lot of money. Which I was fine with. If they were pissed off, you'd go find 3 more girls.
Yeah.
But no, these were the 3 I brought. These were the ones that had to stay with me. So
couldn't get away from them.
I could not. So that didn't work out as well as I had hoped, unfortunately. Still a good
Do y'all
time.
always do spring break? Like,
We try to do
vacations and
something,
stuff?
but like usually like a quick hit vacation.
Yeah.
Usually let the kids go away, and then we have like a week off. That's usually.
Yeah, we were lucky. My in-laws took the kids Monday and brought them back Friday. So we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night by ourselves.
That's
a
good
way to do it.
That's a vacation right there.
Yeah.
Hanging out at the house in your underwear.
It's so weird though when you have kids and they're not around. Like it's one thing when you go. Like I went on the bachelor party, so I was busy. I wasn't at my house. I was hanging out with friends.
Yeah, that's a blast.
Yeah, but like when you're living day-to-day life and you're used to other people being in your house and they're not there, you're like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
It is surreal.
Super
But
quiet.
some of it you don't miss. Like this morning when it was 7 a.m. and I was standing outside in my underwear spraying off a rug full of dog diarrhea.
Yeah.
That was something I could have done without. Like, that didn't seem awesome. I got woken up. Hey, hun. Yeah, the dog had diarrhea again. Like, super.
How many times is that dog going to burn y'all with that diarrhea?
You know, the funny thing is he'll only do it for a day. And then, like, you're getting ready for, like, all right, 4 days in a row, we're going to have to start talking. He'll just do, like, one day and then pull back and be like, all right, I got it out. If I could just hold off a week.
Literally got it out.
Yeah, if I can hold off a week, they won't put me down. And he'll just save up. Do it again.
That poor dog and his cone of shame, his donut of shame, I guess.
We had a listener reach out this week and say that I should at least take him to try out for The Walking Dead because he clearly is
Not a bad idea.
bleeding and
Zombie
open sores. Yeah. I mean, maybe I
Save
could make
them on
some
makeup costs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, did you do this yourself? Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And best makeup goes to for The Walking Dead, the dog.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's like, yeah, that was a real work of art.
He's no longer with us, so we'll have to take his award for him.
You see how it weeps? That's so hard to do. Make that look real.
Yeah.
He's been coming up to me lately.
It's
and
an advanced technique.
Yeah.
You guys may not know.
I'll never tell my secrets.
Right.
Yeah, you got to feed a dog processed food for 14 years,
Yeah.
and then this will happen. Perfect. Well done, sir. He's got a new trick where he walks up and sticks the wound on my leg,
Oh, that's cool.
and then I get to go like dab it with cold water and get all the blood out. That's
Nice.
that's a lot of fun. It's the last year's been a blast.
Yeah, I can tell.
That
Got a
cone
few
looks
more to
cool,
look
though.
forward to.
Yeah. Hey, as long as he'll hold on, I'll be dabbing blood off my leg. I'm good with it. It's all good. At least I don't have. I saw a class action suit the other night. You know how like you see these commercials come on and they're like, if you have mesothelioma and were exposed to asbestos.
Yeah.
They had a new one for a diabetes drug. And, you know, I'm like watching the thing and I was like,
Insulin?
no, it's not insulin. It's some other diabetes drug. But they're like, no joke. They're like, if you took this diabetes drug and got gangrene of the testicles or something, gangrene of the genitals is what they called it. And I was like, whoa. Ran that back. I was like, let me check
Am
this
I being
again.
punked here?
Yeah, no. It's apparently, and I've seen it again since then. There is a diabetes drug that was causing gangrene of the genitals. Now, that's a fucking side effect that I want to know about going in. Like, you know, might have diarrhea.
What
causes headaches. Gangrene of the genitals.
What are the side effects, Doc?
Yeah.
You know, not much.
He's like, Doc's like sweating, constipation, like
headaches.
What?
What was that? What was that mumble?
This sign here.
What'd you say? Headaches. No,
Yeah.
before that, sweating. Between there and the
I
headaches.
think you're hearing something, Steve.
So I've got good news. Your blood sugar's way down. Bad news. Here's your penis back.
Yeah.
It just fell off in the
I'm going to
waiting
write
room.
you a script.
Like we're so concerned about like ED and state. How about your dicks falling off?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level of problems.
That is next level.
Dude, these commercials, there's a
Especially
new
when
one.
I feel like it's fastened pretty tight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like mine's pretty attached.
It's on there.
as it is
Yeah.
now.
You've tried pulling it off.
And
it ain't going
gangrene-
nowhere.
That's right. Yeah.
I've been pulling on it for years. Yeah, gangrene is one of those things you're just like, all right, that sounds bad. For it to be on your genitals, I feel like I would get in on that class action suit.
Yeah.
You know, there's others you
That's-
may not take the time.
I mean, that's a no-brainer home run, right? Like, Your Honor, so here's what's happened.
yeah. Gangrene.
I'd like to
of the-
submit Exhibit A.
No, that's the one time you can show up to court without pants.
And the jury,
Yeah.
jury's like, we don't need to deliberate. I think we know how we're going to find this one.
Yeah, all in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're good. If you could give that man his money.
And some
And his
pants.
pants.
Yeah.
How is your blood sugar though? That's the that's the bigger question here.
Yeah, I get that your dong fell off. That's what the defense says. So yeah, dong fell off, but what are your numbers?
Yeah.
You haven't slipped into a diabetic coma in 10 years.
So you're saying it works?
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing.
Case closed.
Yeah. I rest my case.
The defense rests.
Yeah.
There's a new commercial. It gets me every time it comes on. It's a laxative commercial, and the guy and girl are wandering around the house, and they're they all have catchphrases. Theirs is whatever the name is yes, and they walk around. They're doing this fist pump. They're going yes, and they're dropping their elbow down every time
because they're taking shits.
They're taking shits. And every time I see it, I just lose my fucking mind. I'm like. A group of people sat around the table and fucking pitched this idea.
Yeah.
So the cute blondes coming out of the bathroom, and she's going, yes.
Yes. Then the guy comes out with gangrene of the genitals.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
No. Then the guy, gets out of the car, and he's like, yes, to, the lady talking over him. I'm like, who does that? I guess if you haven't shit in a week.
Right.
I mean, there is something to be said for that, though. If you don't take a deuce for a week,
yeah,
you're going to come out fist pumping like a mug, Yeah. You won't believe what I just did.
High-fiving.
I did something that toddlers do, and I'm psyched about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's been backed up for a week, you don't care if it happens on the couch.
I feel like all those drugs, too, the side effects are always worse than whatever they're trying to get you. And the gangrene of the dick is a great example of that.
That's a severe one.
Yeah,
that's a bad one. I had a guy
the
reach
FDA
out.
approved that.
You talking dookie talk? I thought this was an interesting
because the company paid the FDA.
Yep,
it's that simple.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Have you ever had this happen? We had a listener reach out with this, and I thought this is a situation we've all been in, and you don't think about it until you're stuck. Have you ever had that where you go in a bathroom, it's a single stall, you take a leak, you get in there, though, and it's somebody has absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah.
It's a mess. There's stuff.
Yeah.
There's stuff
Blew it
everywhere.
up.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is clean it. So you're
Right.
just I'm not putting my hand on that and all that. So you just pee and get it over with.
Yeah.
And then you walk out, and then there's someone waiting directly behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get the blame.
Do you say something at that point?
No.
You just walk away and let them think
Don't give a fuck.
this asshole just completely ruined a bathroom on me.
Well, my logic is that the dude's standing in line and he just realized that I was in there for fucking 40 seconds and not 5 minutes, that I didn't shit all over the place.
That's
True.
good logic.
Have you ever been guilty of ruining one like that, where you just...
Have I ever destroyed a shitter, you're saying?
But to the point where you're that's uncleanable, I have committed a sin, I'm going to have to go.
Did you ever go full George Brett?
No. That's all over yourself. That's not all over a toilet.
True.
I had that happen.
But he did have to take all his clothes off in a bathroom, so I'm sure there was some
But how does that
collateral
happen?
damage.
I had one happen once that I will never...
I'm curious to hear how, because I can't fathom how I know your old man did it with the lights out. There's got to be an excuse. There's got to be an excuse. There's got to be an excuse as to how you hit the floor or the whole everything else except for the bowl.
So I've had it happen once.
Okay.
Where I was in a club in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And we get there and we're partying, we're having a good time, and man, it hit me
the bubble guts.
You are sick. There is something wrong. You shouldn't be out.
Yeah.
You need to go home. You're not doing well. And it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And the only bathroom I could find had a line, and I'm just waiting in this line, and it was just getting worse and worse to the point that I'm honestly thinking I'm going to have an accident standing here in this club.
If you're going to shit in a club, that's a bad...
Yeah, when you decide, you know what, guys, I'm going to go... I'm
going
to go post up in a stall for a little while in this dirty-ass club.
Yeah.
I'll shit anywhere. I got no shame.
I got issues. But I ran in this bathroom finally, it got to be my turn, and the term we learned
or
the
you
other
were
day,
full term. Is that what you were trying to say?
latchkey incontinence. I had a bad case of that where once the door opened and I was finally like allowed to release, my whole body just gave up the ghost. And I was going
tunnel vision came in.
I was going to get my pants down. I'm like staring at the
button
toilet.
Flies. God damn
so
it!
It's like son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I start turning to sit, and it all just let loose, like as I was windmilling to get onto the toilet.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting the wall.
A little pinwheel?
I ended up getting the wall to the one side of it.
You sprinklered it?
Along the back, and then in. And I'm just sitting there. I was just sitting there looking at the wall and like looking around. I was like, this is the most devastating situation ever.
Yeah.
Did it get on you?
Not that I recall. I don't recall it being on me, but it was a nightmare. Like I was like, this is horrible. And I ended up getting a bunch of tissues and cleaning up what I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it was all said and done, I was like, this still looks like a massacre happened in here.
All smeared all over like a kid's finger painting and shit.
And
you didn't wipe it up very well.
Finally, I just was like, I can't fix this any more than I have fixed it. And I just walked out and pulled the old, looked and I was like, somebody fucked that up to the line.
Nice.
I didn't know what else to say. I was just like, somebody really screwed up in there.
Hands all covered in shit, but he's blaming it on the guy before him.
Right.
Who was in there before me? Did you get that person?
You were caught brown-handed, dude.
See, I don't know that it would. I don't know that I would be like ashamed.
You should have been there.
Have you ever seen the bathroom prank, where the guy's sitting on the toilet and he's like, the guy sitting next to him, and he's like, "Hey, can I get some paper?" And then the guy reaches under and he takes chocolate pudding and just smears it all over the dude's head.
Seen that.
That's messed up.
Those dudes lose.
I've seen a dude almost he got hurt. Oh, yeah. Like they were like some fucking cholos, and they were like, "We don't play with that shit, S.J."
Oh no!
I do remember that.
Yeah, you can't play jokes like that on people.
No.
Like that's not acceptable.
But that's kind of like, well, what are you going to do? Like, I want to kick the shit out of you, but I also need to wash my hands because as of right now, I'm not sure of what I'm dealing with here. Once I wash these hands for 30 to 40 minutes, I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
Because I'm not going to take the time to figure out that it's pudding. I'm now just on.
Or as you're like, dude, like you get outside the stalls and he's man, dude, that's fucked up. Who the fuck? And he just is going, like eating it.
Look at his fingers.
Yeah. And then they go, damn.
Now you're like, this guy's crazy.
Yes.
I ain't fucking with him.
Right, you get a little twitch in your eye.
I'm going to have to let this ride.
Yeah. Start smearing on like war paint.
He comes out, he's got eye black under his
exactly.
We're fighting.
For sure.
You said you wanted a piece of me?
Right.
Allow me to apply.
There was some dude that said, if you ever want to win a fight, just strip down naked. Just start losing your shit and strip down naked.
They got videos about that, too.
It's true, though. No one wants to mess with you.
No.
That's the move.
For sure.
Gets you out of a lot.
Yeah, because you'd be like, this guy's fucking certifiable.
To say the least. Yeah, no, that's a bad scene.
Yeah. I do my best fighting when I'm just ass out.
Right. Aerodynamic as fuck.
You can't grab on anything.
Yeah.
Can't grab my shirt.
Right. You lucky I ain't got my Vaseline on me. I put that shit on too.
You gotta grease up. We're gonna fight.
You got any Wesson oil?
Right. Crisco.
Especially if you got that old gangrene of the genitals, man. That's a tough look.
Hey, then you really don't.
Do you know
have anything
anyone
to grab
that uses
onto.
Crisco in 2019?
I haven't seen a jug of Crisco in a house in a long time.
It's still out there. Got to be. Probably south of the Mason-Dixon, if I had to guess.
You know where it is? It's in every one of those houses where you're like, these cookies are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because there is something about Crisco and a chocolate chip cookie. Like,
I was going to
good.
say, I assume if you use it, you have to be a pretty good cook or know how to, like, we're just not foodies. We don't cook a lot.
But I don't
we don't
see
bake a lot.
Crisco anywhere. I think that's something old ladies have.
Yeah. There was an old lady in my last neighborhood who put, I think, yogurt into the cookie batter, and they were the best cookies I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yogurt's a
Super
new one on
gooey
me.
and chewy.
Huh.
Yeah. It was heavenly.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah, me too.
And that's like some lady who was trying to get away from Crisco. She was way ahead of her time.
I'm sure there's Crisco in it, too.
The old Crisco and yogurt.
You rub it on the pan.
every time I think about baking and cooking things, I'm like, who came up with this shit? Like, who's like, see that flour? All right, we'll see that egg over there? Grab some of that. Oh, and that sugar. Let's mix all that together. And then, like.
No, well, someone first had to eat the flour by itself. It was
This
like,
sucks.
this isn't the one.
This is trash.
Yeah. And someone dumped some other shit, and it was like, this still sucks. Yeah.
This cookie's awful.
Right.
Just a handful of flour.
Somebody added butter and was like, we can make something called a biscuit out of this shit, I think. Yeah.
I think this
It
will
might
work.
not be the cookie, but we could put some cheese on it and some
Yeah.
eggs, and that shit would be dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, kind of flaky.
Like, what are the odds?
Yeah, that's interesting, though. Everyone that has to fuck things up before it becomes awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And usually the first one was a fuck up. And you're like, I stumbled
You ever
on
see
something.
those kids cooking shows where, like, the fucking 10-year-olds know how to cook all that shit? I'm like, how do you know how to do all this stuff?
They've just got it. Like, they've got whatever it is.
Google.
Yeah.
But you can put anything in front of them, and they're like, I got it.
Yeah.
This is going to make a
Yeah,
perfect
those
gumbo.
wizards are a whole nother, like, that chef show where they're like, here's a fish head and a fucking, sack of raisins.
Kumquat.
You're like,
Make
make some gourmet shit out of it. You're like,
right. I'm going to make a fish head pate, finish it off with a raisin casserole. And you're like, motherfucker.
Like, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done, too.
Yeah.
that's the
nailed
best
it.
thing I've ever had.
Right.
Like,
I would have just heated up the fish head in the microwave. Bon
Pretty
appetit.
tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
I've thrown the fish head away, just eating the raisins, calling it a day.
Exactly.
And then make a whistle out of the little raisin box.
For sure. Yeah. You are the top chef.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You'll notice that none of these guys have a whistle box. So
Yeah. Their food may be delicious and all, but can they call for help?
this is dinner and a show.
Right. Right.
But if you want to award the nerd with the pate, that's fine.
Right. I will take requests.
Foul.
Actually, I only know Yankee Doodle, so that's what you're getting.
Nope, don't know any Sousa.
Yeah. Right.
I heard the other day that there's an app. I've never actually seen it, but someone was telling me that there's an app that you can use to like go, these are the ingredients I have in my pantry.
So and it'll Top Chef it
then
up for you?
Yeah, and then it goes, this is what you should make out of that.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Like, that's badass.
That's really cool.
I was talking to a girl at work, and she was like, oh, yeah, we use it all the time. We're just like, we'll pull out some stuff and go, here's what we have. It'll be like, if you have an onion, you could make this. Or like, well, all that's enough to do exactly this. And then tells you how to make
fucking app would just be like, I'd pull all the shit out of my pantry, and the app would be like, how
Go
the
to
fuck are you
McDonald's.
alive,
Go to
dude?
McDonald's, bitch. Yeah.
Get a dog.
Yeah.
Throw all that shit out.
You can make
Go get a
Alpo.
hamburger. Yeah.
Right.
I got to get that app, though. That's kind of sweet.
Yeah, that is kind of
Or
cool.
I can just get one of those 10-year-olds that you see on
There you go.
Kid Top Chef,
Yeah.
because they're pretty badass,
kill it.
too. Dude, speaking of, I'm thirsty. I
Me
saw,
too.
I got a little something under there for you, Troy.
Have you ever tried brown sugar in the Old Bay for wings?
No, but I believe that would be awesome.
Yes.
Like, just hearing that, I'm like, that adds up.
Yeah. It does.
Interesting. Yeah, because I'm just an Old Bay wing guy, as you know.
Me too.
I've never tried.
That's the staple in our household.
And so you just add a little brown
Never
sugar
tried it. I'm
to
just
the mix.
Figuring that would be awesome. I should
Never
say,
even heard of it.
No. Like I tried to do a dry rub. I was out of Old Bay, so I Googled one with what I had, and
they had brown sugar in it.
and paprika, a bunch of
Interesting.
shit. So I was like, maybe I should add it to Old Bay because I love the Old Bay. But
Yeah,
the
I mean, I would
sweetness
start-
is fucking awesome.
Start with a light amount of brown sugar. Thank you. Interested to see how this beer goes down. This is the new Sierra Nevada Southern Gothic Unfiltered Pils, which I've never... Pilsners, by nature, are supposed to be light, refreshing, clear,
Yeah, everybody
crisp.
knows that.
So why they went with an unfiltered one, I was like, that's interesting.
Steeped in tradition, yet ready for anything, that pretty much sums up our Southern Gothic Unfiltered Pils. This hop-forward but light-bodied Pilsner is crisp and drinkable, perfect for an afternoon on the porch or a night down at the pub. We left it unfiltered and raw to bring out its complexity and add a depth of flavor. Let's see
That's
if I
interesting.
can find the...
Is this an IPA? No, it's a Pils.
It's a Pilsner, but it's got hops in it. Obviously, it's got hops in it.
Do you see the APV on anywhere? I don't see it on the box anywhere.
I don't, but I assumed it was pretty low rent, but I don't necessarily know that.
5.2.
His has numbers on it that mine does not.
Right down the
There it is. There it is. Yeah, plus I like the name, Southern Gothic, Sierra Nevada. Figured give it a try.
Yeah,
Sure.
Let you know all sorts of shit about it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what, but
Well, what's that?
yeah, I'm done.
That painting, American Gothic? It's like the farmer with the pitchfork and then the wife standing next to him. So when I saw Southern Gothic, I just kind of...
Is that called American Gothic?
Yes.
I believe so. Is it not?
I didn't think so, but Troy was pretty confident.
I'm 99% sure. We'll Google it just to be sure.
Yeah,
'cause
maybe.
Google wouldn't lie.
No, it would not. If you just type in American Gothic and it doesn't come up, that's not what it's called. But that's what jumped into my head. Yeah, sweet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
Nailed it.
1930 painting by Grant Wood.
It's got to be worth tens of dollars.
That it is.
Probably
But
worth-
when I saw the name, it conjured up that image in my head, and I thought, all right, Southern Gothic, unfiltered pills. I'd never heard of an unfiltered Pilsner, so...
Are you guys as annoyed as I am with Marco Polo telling you when people are on?
Yes.
It fucking drives me nuts.
A lot of people who don't use that app...
Send so-and-so a message. It'll make their day.
So-and-so's on now.
Like, oh...
I know how it works, motherfucker.
I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to plant one of these right in it.
I don't know.
Like
I
your
love that
suckhole.
app. For people out there who haven't used it, Marco Polo is like a chat app, video chat app. The difference being you're not having a real-time conversation like a FaceTime. It's like you send a message, then someone else gets to reply. Hence,
It's video text.
Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Video text is probably a pretty good way to describe it. But
you can do groups and whatnot.
I like the app, though, because I can like respond to you and go about my business, and then when I get done, I can respond back.
Yeah.
As opposed to having to have like a long-form FaceTime conversation.
And you don't have to like type out a long text if you don't want to.
I'm getting so lazy, I don't want to type anything. I'm always talking into my phone to text. I'm always like telling it
That
what to
shit's
say.
still not
It's like,
right, though. It's still not good.
No, I had one today that said, I said pooled, and it wrote pooped. And an
That'll
That's
email,
because it knows you. You say pooped more than pooled.
but it was like, I pooped the data, is what it said. Like, it was a work email.
Did you send it?
No, at the last second,
Nice.
I'm looking over it, and I was like, wait, I didn't poop the data. I was like,
Yeah.
no. Like, I had to like...
The wife sent me one today because she does the talk to text, and one of my kids won an award at school called a ROAR Award, ROAR.
Yeah.
There you go.
And she says, thanks for going to the war name Sarah, last name Moni, M-O-N-I. So instead of roar ceremony, war ceremony.
Nice. Everybody knows her.
The best, though, is when it does give you a name, but if you say the name together, you're like, oh, I get what that word was. So I like seeing those because you're like, you talk to text.
I hate how autocorrect fucking changes words that are actual words to other words. I'm like,
oh, my God.
that's a word.
The
Like,
amount
I
of
didn't-
things that I've ducked,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, you have to finally go in there and be like, I'm okay with foul language.
Yeah.
Like, I sometimes say things I shouldn't. I didn't say ducked. Like, well, I
The
guess
can
you're
says
ducked.
family owned, operated, and argued over.
Interesting.
That's the one.
That's what a family business is.
Troy, have you had enough of that to give an opinion?
You
on
want me
that?
to go first?
I mean, I can go, but if you...
I like this. I think this is a good beer. It does have a little bit of hop, but it's not overpowering. It doesn't leave that funky taste in my mouth. I'll give this a 3.5. It's got a little bit of. It's very light, a little bit of citrus in it, and I like that beer. I could drink that for sure.
I'm kind of in the same ballpark as you. It definitely has some hop going on, which I didn't expect because it's a Pilsner,
Yeah,
but it's certainly there. What it reminds me of is an ever so slightly more hopped version of the Sam 76, which the Sam 76 across the board got like 4.5s. It was extremely well received beer.
yeah.
I think this is of that ilk where it's an easy drinking beer that has a little bit of hop. That unfiltered for the Pilsner makes it a horrible Pilsner, but it makes for a really good beer. This is probably a great like summertime beer, which is probably why it's the Southern Gothic, I'm guessing. I give that a 4. I will buy that again. I like that beer a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's tons of flavors in it.
There's a lot going on.
It's really
in there.
good. Yeah,
almost peppery at one point, which I don't understand. Like after the hops.
Yeah,
it's very odd.
And it's like the hops aren't too overpowering.
Yeah, finishes clean.
It does, and it's
refreshing.
Yeah,
it is refreshing. IPAs don't manage to do that very often.
It's like the perfect amount of hop that I can deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is. I did not expect this beer to taste like this.
No, I'd give it a. It's a tough one. I'll give it a 3.5.
Wow,
2 3.5 and a 4.
Good job, Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
Your Southern Gothic unfiltered pills is a winner.
Somehow.
I might actually seek that one out and buy it.
That's what I'm saying. Like that is a beer that during the summer I'd like to have in the cooler.
And we're there.
Yo, it's certainly coming on quick.
It was 80 today.
And
we had the free thunderstorm in the afternoon. So, yeah, we're there.
It's turning into summer fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this beer. I'm pretty excited
about
this. Good for Sierra Nevada.
Good pick, Brendan.
I was actually, so all I was looking for is that new Dogfish head. I think we talked about it months ago that in April, Dogfish is coming out with the first like Michelob Ultra style IPA.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be low carb, low calorie.
Kaz was talking about that on the bachelor party because he lives right there next to the Dogfish head.
Yeah, so has he had it?
He has not, but he was talking about how they were coming out with it.
Apparently they used monk fruit to like create the sweetness because it doesn't have the calories of the sugars. And they say that's the difference of why this is going to be like a winning IPA to pale ale drinkers, but without the calories. We shall see. I know one person who's actually tried one. It was Old Red from the other week. And he hit me up and was like they had it at a bar on draft.
So it is out.
It exists, but only in kegs that I've heard. And he was like, it's good. And I was like waiting for this glowing response. And he was just like, good. I was like awesome. He's like, no, I mean, it's good.
Well, you got to think if you strip all the calories and carbs out of a beer, it's just not going to have the flavors that.
Exactly.
And that's how food is too. You strip all the good stuff out, it'll be tolerable.
Yeah, disappointment will reign.
Yeah,
for sure.
You can't just go removing the Crisco.
Yeah, exactly.
It will ruin it.
Just make some average ass cookies, I guess.
Yeah, that's super.
And that's what Mick Ultra is.
Yeah,
I mean
it's an average cookie.
It tastes like nothing.
I will give you that. Oh, have you guys? You all have you don't have Netflix.
Do not.
Damn it! And you do have Netflix.
I do.
Have you had a chance to check out the new Motley Crue documentary, The Dirt?
My wife heard about watched it. I haven't watched it. I'm not a hairband guy, so I don't watch that shit. Is it awesome?
I want to see it.
This is the most interesting situation. I don't know what the hell happened here, but
I've heard stories of them back in the day that was just insane.
You always hear stories about what a crazy rock and roll band they were and how they were just
and
out
a lot of
control.
those hair bands were.
Yeah. So I was really excited when I saw that The Dirt was on.
Why is it
Netflix,
called The Dirt?
Because it's just the dirt on Motley Crue.
Oh, okay.
It's just all the dirty. It's supposed to show you the griminess, which in the opening 2 minutes, the first thing I get to see is dude doing a bunch of coke. So I'm like, okay, I know this story's about rock and roll.
Yeah.
They're not shying away from the drugs. Then they turn around, the next scene, you got Vince Neil banging some gorgeous girl in the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, we've done sex, drugs, and rock and roll in the first 2 minutes. I was like, this is gonna be good. Like, this is all right.
I heard a story about it when they did the book and were pitching the movie. Like in the Me Too movement, they were like, you can't talk about the banging of the groupies and and they were like, this is what happened when we were doing our thing. Like, we're just telling you exactly how it went down. Like, and it's insane to think that you can't tell a factual, historic piece anymore without offending someone.
Yeah.
people should be offended. Motley Crue was offensive. I mean, they had big pentagrams behind them, and they were all whacked out on drugs and banging everything. That's what
You
Motley
mean they were
Crue
awesome?
was. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be people who are offended. In fact, even when Motley Crue came out, long before that whole movement, people were like, fuck this. Like, this is not right. They've got satanic symbols up there, and they're doing crazy
You
stuff.
never got into any of the hair bands? You weren't into Guns N' Roses or Def Leppard or Motley Crue or
Guns
Skid
N' Roses
Row?
is not a hair band.
They're all in the same vein.
I think Guns N' Roses is the gray area
Poison?
between. Well, Poison is a great hair band.
Yeah.
It's a definite hair band. But this Motley Crue movie, The Dirt, it was like they had the story, right? And it could have been so grimy and so messed up. And then it's like they took the producer from Saved by the Bell and said, "You've got
Richard
a
Belding?
chance." It's, dude,
Dick?
it basically may as well have been a Saved by the Bell version of it. So like,
So they toned it down?
they didn't tone it down. All of it's there. It's just the acting is cheesy. Like,
Yeah.
it's all playful and fun in the way Saved by the Bell was.
Yeah,
where I'm
yeah.
like, you are dealing with some seriously hardcore
Yeah, like
issues
Nikki
here.
Sixx almost dies like 100 times, right?
Even that is so campy.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh look, he's hooked on heroin.
Yeah,
Yay! Like it
That's
is,
so classic rock star.
yeah, it is so weird. Like they're dealing with like death, like all kinds of things that are just, it should be tearing out your heartstrings.
They glorified all of it.
Everything's glorified and over the top and campy. It honestly was like Saved by the Bell meets Motley Crue. Here's The Dirt. And it was enjoyable once I finally just wrapped my head around the fact, like, I'm watching a really bad movie. Like this, they saved a boatload of money.
I think I heard it was like comes across as like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, and that's kind of that Saved by the
Yeah.
Bell feel, you know, for sure. Like it was just cheesy.
Like, made for TV movie with old, like they're with new footage or with old footage. You're saying?
No, it's just like the people don't look like the guys. Like it's just
Oh, so this isn't footage?
no.
Oh my
No.
God!
Yeah.
For the love of God,
That's
Are
what
you
I'm saying.
serious right now?
Yes, it was not. It's not the dirt I was expecting. It wasn't.
This isn't like a documentary?
No,
Not a documentary at all.
All I wanted, and that's it. All I wanted was a documentary. You know,
I'm
like,
so excited I didn't watch this movie.
oh, now you have to though, so you
No.
can be like, oh my God, like
It's like watching Unsolved Mysteries.
yeah.
The
That's a
fake
very
people playing it out.
yeah.
Except
and
there's
the-
more drama in Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
and the quality of acting was right on par with the actor's reenactment.
Right.
of
Because
the
it's all
crime.
nobodies you've never heard of.
Yeah.
You know.
It was amazingly bad.
Nicholas Six walks into the room.
Yeah, it was.
So don't see it.
Yeah.
No, see it. Don't enjoy it. Don't come to me and tell me you saw.
want to do these drugs or what?
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. You know, they're like, "Oh yeah, sweet, we're doing coke." Woo!
Yeah, we're so crazy.
And so, like, in order to prove that Nikki Sixx was always on drugs, he always had a plate of cocaine in his hand.
Oh my
because
God!
it's like,
Are you serious?
yeah, like it's completely ham-fisted. Like, you see, Nikki Sixx always has a plate of coke in his
Oh
hand, so he was
my
obviously
gosh.
hooked. And then all of a sudden, one day, Nikki Sixx is hanging out, and then he decides to do heroin, and like 5 minutes later, like he's rock bottom.
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
completely ruined it. His whole life's out of hand, and I'm like, you could have done so much more with this.
Narrated by the Reading Rainbow guy.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
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 Butterfly in the sky.
Yeah, it's if Mr. Rogers got to direct it, but he didn't get to write it.
Right.
So the content is still rough, but it's campy as shit. It
Oh.
it blew
It's all
my
corny
mind.
and cheesy. Like they have to say,
Oh, when you're watching, like
they have to say, like they don't say the things that we would say in our real everyday life. They say like PC things.
no, they still say stuff, but like it's so bad. Like Ozzy Osbourne shows up in a scene. He's you're Ozzy Osbourne, but he's still like, but he's so much fun and animated. And then
Wow.
like he snorts a line of ants, and you're like, yeah, I'm sure that happened, but I doubt it was at this pool in front of all these families
Right.
and like so fun. And then Tommy Lee's like, oh yeah, I'll show you. Like
Yeah.
peas
I'll
and,
one
like,
up you.
yeah. Or like when Tommy Lee's like ruining hotel rooms, like he's running around in like his Speedo, but like he's all smiles and laughing and having a blast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you were probably a belligerent asshole, screaming things you should
I'm
never
so glad
scream,
I didn't see it.
staggering around, throwing things. But no, he's completely lucid. Like,
I don't think heroin addicts are a treat to be around.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look at him. He's so hilarious right now. He just took the needle out of his arm.
Tommy Lee clearly had some say in this because Tommy Lee, you come out of there going, that guy is just fun.
Yeah,
How he got
philanthropist.
Yeah, like how he got through this, I'll never know.
Yeah.
And Vince Neil, they somehow made into a saint.
He got a bad rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's out there doing the Lord's work.
Right.
Yeah, he was just a nice guy who got caught up in, all this
Yeah, and
booze
this nonsense.
Like they show him as like a little kid, not a little kid, but like going to the club at the beginning and he's wearing his sister's pants. And like she's like, you're wearing my pants, and he's like, they look better on me, like that kind of stuff.
God.
And I'm like, Tommy Lee was not a
my
fun dude to have
God.
around the house. Like his parents weren't psyched to have him around, acting like a total psycho.
This is great.
But he's like, he may as well be the Zach Morris of it, or like the Slater. It was
Is all the
wild.
music in it though?
No,
So you don't even get the music?
dude. You get to hear like
That's
the
where
opening piano riffs of like Home Sweet Home, and you're like, yeah, and then no,
Then to the bad acting.
yeah,
Because that's where the Bohemian Rhapsody knocked it out of the park.
Down in
was,
the basement of the Lee family, they start playing their instruments, woodwinds and the otherwise.
So you have seen it.
yes,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
No, I recommend.
That rascally Nicky was crazy. Always had been.
I wouldn't be surprised if people decided to try more drugs because of this. Like young generations, like,
Wow.
oh, you're gonna land on your feet.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like,
I
look.
can make millions.
yeah, and he's totally fine. Like
Look
these
how
guys
funny
aren't
he is
bad.
when he's all
Right.
heroined up.
Everyone saw him honk the horn on the boat with his dong. I feel like I should do that too. Yeah.
I'm not wrong. That part was awesome though.
Yeah.
But they don't include any of that cool shit.
Tommy didn't write it then.
Did Tommy Lee need a PR makeover for his image? I think he was
I
killing
think so.
Well, and Tommy Lee's
That
like
helps
kind
with sales,
of known to
marketing.
be like he's like a women batterer. Like this
it.
has
Oh,
been
yeah.
this has been relatively
Because he what he did to Pam's
Proven?
vagina?
no
Oh.
good joke.
Beer battered?
No, like it's known that dude's a scumbag. Like that's
I totally forgotten that. Yeah,
He doesn't
did.
look like one.
no, it would be shocking.
Did
Yeah.
they go over that in the movie?
So they did have to like
Oh, wow.
which I'll give him at least a little respect there because like if you watch like Straight Outta Compton, like Dre that part got removed. In fact,
Imagine that.
yeah, but in this they made it look like Tommy's hit one woman one time ever
Then he learned
Because that's
his
what he
lessons.
admitted to.
because that woman kept calling his mother a cunt. And Tommy snaps.
Oh, he stood up for his mom.
He stood
Yeah.
up for his mom, but
What a
that's what I was
hero.
like.
Right.
I was like, okay, you were willing to go talk about the fact that this dude's a scumbag and he beats women, but you did it
didn't
in
give the-
honor
yeah.
of this other woman.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, he was a drug-addled asshole.
Yeah.
Who was just taking advantage of everything, but no, he was defending his mother one time, and then he was so upset after he smacked her that he ran into the back of the tour bus, and then
Cried
you never
himself to
see this
sleep.
girl again. Like, problem solved. Tommy's rehabilitated. He went in the back and cried.
A documentary with OG footage would have been cool.
That would have been awesome because
Yeah.
they have to have it.
Oh, at the very end of it, you get to see, like, they'll do the split screen, and it'll show, like,
Oh, yeah.
here's
yeah.
the scene we did, and then, like, here's the guys.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, these scenes happened, but that's the closest you get. It's like 3 minutes during the credits.
Here's how we
Yeah.
fucked it all up. We have the actual footage here, and we shot these no-name dudes trying to recreate it like a
Right.
fucking high school musical.
Bart Wikolski was the actor who played.
Yeah, well, I recommend the Saved by the Bell, The Dirt, if you go into it knowing this is some campy, cheesy
Documentaries are
stuff.
always so much better than regular movies.
Especially when the story
When they're
is
done
that
right.
good. I mean, there was
You don't
so
even
much
need
there.
It doesn't even have to be a documentary you care about. If it's a good documentary, you're like, oh hell
Sucked
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Like a great example is that stupid one about the. It's not stupid. It's awesome, but about the nerds who play the fucking Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm so into this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a gamer. I'm not fucking playing quarter fucking machines for 8 hours at a fucking time. But, like, you just get into it. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's interesting to watch. That's not what this was.
You fucked up.
And it could have been amazing because that story.
What are the odds that there's a resurgence of these corny movies and we're out of touch?
Possible. Certainly possible because Netflix is churning out movies at a rate faster than Bollywood. I mean, it's just like there's always some new movie coming out on Netflix. So at some point, you got to think that Netflix is going to greenlight some things that they're like, we like the concept, but we're not going to spend a lot of money on it. So you have $1 million budget. That's got to pay for producer, actors, director. So they go buy the made-for-TV movie set and go, you, and you.
You no names come make fucking I have no idea. Like, what does someone make if you're a no-name actor and you get like? Are you making
clue.
$20K for shooting a movie?
Yeah, you might make $50,000 or something. That would be. I mean, that's a payday
for like a 2-month shoot somewhere.
Like Gary Busey's making that right now.
Gary Busey's got to make more.
He's got to make
right?
a ton.
Really?
I would think he has a name.
He is a name.
I guess he does have a little name, but I wouldn't think he'd have much leverage these days.
I was in Point Break, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I feel like
but he's a mess.
But the casting and the writers have leverage over him, not the other way around.
Probably for that in that situation, I would think.
Yeah, because there's not a lot.
We want another goofy ass motherfucker from the goddamn '90s. We'll find him.
Yeah,
like we don't need you.
Well, that's why Mickey Rourke came up because he became
that
like
dude's got issues.
Oh yeah,
like bad.
Yeah.
But
that was kind of like if we can't get Gary Busey, we'll get Mickey Rourke.
Right.
And kind of plug him in. But it should be pretty easy to find a new dumbass. The guy who's...
You would think.
What's that guy, TJ...
Oshie?
No.
Hooker?
Go Caps. I'm pretty psyched they're in the playoffs. Here we go.
Playing the Carolina Hurricanes first round.
That's right. Thursday night, first game. So when this episode comes out, Thursday night will be the first game.
Start doing work on these nerds.
I'm pretty psyched.
Gonna run it back this year?
Lightning are gonna be difficult. Super difficult. Even though we just beat them a week ago.
Because they're fast as lightning?
Yeah, I think
that's part of the problem.
Probably it.
Yeah. You know, you could get down to Raleigh and catch one of these games.
I just did.
No, but you went to Caps.
No.
You went to Raleigh to catch it? It's probably much easier to get a ticket.
It's way more awesome.
And watch the Caps play?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, I was just in D.C., and I was looking into getting tickets for the last home game. After they'd clinched, I was like, no one's going to this game. You know, who cares? It was $250 a ticket on the secondary market for the nosebleeds.
Well, you got to think they're still riding the wave. Like, they have a pretty loyal fan base, and they're coming off of, Stanley Cup run, so they're still going to
I like the experience of Raleigh better. Like, I would go there in the future from now on.
So how was it?
It was awesome. Drive's better. I like the stadium better. It's parking like a regular-ass stadium.
Yeah.
It's a small town.
Yeah.
And they probably...
Tickets were affordable?
So, basically, the difference is you can get club-level seats for the prices you would pay nosebleeds.
Nosebleed?
Is essentially the difference.
And if you've ever been club-level at any event, it's the way to go.
Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think years ago the Caps were that way. Even when they were making little playoff runs, like no one gave a shit. That was amazing. That's the whole reason I fell in love with those stupid Caps.
I heard just recently that Ovi made a comment about him trying to get after Gretzky's record. And how old do you think he is?
What record?
Goals,
what record could
goals record.
He's not anywhere close, is he? I don't follow hockey.
He's like 200 and
he's 30, 33?
33.
Yeah.
So
he could do it, right?
Like I thought he was older than that, but he's got years. Yeah, because the
only reason I know that's because I looked it up because I was like, man, he's getting old because the gray's coming in his beard and everything, and I was like, man, what's he up there, 35? And I looked it up, I was like, 33?
I thought all Gretzky's records were just so far out of reach it wasn't even.
Most of them are points no human on the planet will ever touch, but
like isn't it to the point that he's like double? Like some other,
like second place is like 1,500, and he's got like 2,800 points.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And it's like Lemieux or somebody probably.
So what's Obi think he can go after? He said points.
No, goals. No one's touching points. Goals. He has like 5. No.
What is the difference between points and goals?
Points you get for assists and goals and other things.
Right. So
or
you
maybe just those two things. I don't know.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I think it's 1 per assist and 2 per goal, I believe. Yeah.
That would make more sense. All right, because I was like, goals are points and points are goals.
Yeah, no. But Ovechkin's at like 6-ish, and Gretzky's at 8 something. So it would take
Ovi puts down some stuff though, man. Like it's
5 years, I think. 5 years of 50 goals. But the thing is, if you look in the history of people, no one maintains 50 goals through their retirement. They wean off.
Okay, here's the
Yeah,
deal.
but we got steroids
Here's
now.
the deal for goals. Gretzky's the leader.
Yager's.
Gretzky's the leader with 894. Now, second place is 93 behind him. That's Gordie Howe. Yager's at 766. Drop all the way to 13th is where Ovechkin is.
Yep.
He's at 658. So he's still 240 behind.
Yeah.
So that's going to be. I mean,
he's not wrong though. If he could
Yeah, he
maintain
can.
for 5 years at 50 goals a season, I mean, he's there.
Right. Exactly.
That's no easy task.
No, because 50 is.
And
Well-
Ovi, he takes care of his body, kinda. I mean, last year watching him with that Stanley Cup gave you a little insight into
'Cause
the
I think-
kind of partier he is.
I think this year he tied Gretzky's 50-goal season. So I think they both have 8 or 9. And that's the thing is he's going to fall off as he gets older.
yeah, but he's always been a scorer. I
Yes.
Do you think in Gretzky's time steroids were easier to hide? Like, do you think? I'm not saying Gretzky was on steroids late in his career, but that was the 80s and early 90s, right?
Yeah.
I think you could get away with a little more at that time
Yeah, but what's the relevance? I mean,
because steroids are great for longevity. Your body repairs faster. You still move like a child.
yeah, true.
I mean, you can do that with enough
Right.
steroids.
For sure.
Nowadays, they test you hard. And hockey's always been one of the most lenient places. They didn't even start testing for cocaine till like 2 years ago in
Right.
the NHL.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mind-blowing. Like, that's not even like, you can make the argument like marijuana or something that's legal in certain places. No, NHL was just like, these guys need it.
Right.
Wayne
It's a
Gretzky
different world.
has 2857 points. Second place is Yager with 1921.
Yeah. So 900 and some change behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. Ovi's never
Yeah.
catching that.
No one. That's next level.
I mean, Ovi's just he's bombs from the distance from all over.
Yeah.
He's not a big assist guy.
He is
I mean-
45th in points at 1211.
Right. So even if he
Not even
doubled
halfway
his
there.
points, right.
Yeah, he's just not that kind of player.
Right.
It wasn't until just in the last few years that Ovechkin really started being more of a complete player. For the longest time, he was just a bomber.
Yeah.
I mean, which was awesome. He was great
He
at
won
it.
times, right? Isn't that what he does?
That was always his thing. You'd see him kind of hanging out, halfway in between the
he's
half line and the goal.
He's a
and
left
just
winger,
kinda,
right? He
Yeah.
just hangs
Yeah.
out there on the side, and then
Yeah.
You pitch it over there, and
Sickening-ass
good
shots.
luck,
Yeah.
because here it comes at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, perfectly placed.
Perfectly placed.
Right.
No, he was
it's a sniper.
Yeah.
amazing. Still is amazing. Well, let's see if we can get back to back.
Yeah, that'd be
That-
awesome.
that's what
back
I'd
to back would be sweet.
Do you feel the same hype going into the playoffs this year as you did last year?
No, because we all won.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Once you get that,
What do you know
monkey
about
off
that,
your
Brendan?
back, man, after the Cubs won that World Series, that next year, I was like, if we don't win it, it's okay. Like it was like the
But
urgency
a back to back
wasn't
is
there.
a big deal.
It absolutely is, and I want it. And now that the playoffs are starting, I'm feeling it ramp up. But like last year, all season, I was watching the scores a little more closely. I was just,
But the Lightning are really good.
well, they're the best.
Yes.
Like there's no two ways about it. They're the
No.
best team.
For sure.
But that doesn't mean shit. I've seen the Caps be the best team go into the playoffs and get smoked in the second round by the Penguins.
Yeah.
On the regular.
Yeah.
Then the Lightning tend to fuck up in the playoffs.
So
As weird as that is.
it could be perfectly fine. Like
Could be.
I'd like to think.
What you need is Wilson to go break someone's nose or bite someone's nose off. And that's how you'd start it. Because
That psycho is Mahal.
Get in their head.
I love that guy.
I was talking to a buddy about that. Like,
And he's actually a great
you gotta
player.
Terrify the fuck out of that team, and then you can beat them.
The Lightning in particular. Yeah. You got to come in there and bruise them. In fact, I don't even mind when Wilson pulls such a dirt. This is horrible to say.
That's what he did. I think that's how they won the last Lightning game.
Because
He beat some dude up right off the break.
I don't even mind. Again, this is horrible to say, but I've seen some like kind of cheap, horrible hits out of Wilson.
Yeah.
And then he's gone for a game, and I'm like, that was what we needed.
Yeah.
You needed to knock that dude on his
sure.
head. Like, I don't want you to try to injure somebody, but I don't mind you fucking a dude up.
It's amazing how much that turns the tempo of a game. Like
I was going to say, isn't it weird that that's
does.
still the way that hockey goes and how I mean, I can't imagine that ever changing.
Yeah.
But imagine if, like, the NBA or MLB had that.
They did back when Jordan played, though. Remember Detroit,
Yeah, I mean,
the Bad Boys? You
Yeah.
had Bill Laimbeer, like that big
Rodman.
ogre. Yeah, but Rodman's forgiven. His sins are forgiven.
Well,
He's a bull now.
Well, but he was a great rebounder. Like, he had a skill.
And he made North Korea get rid of their nuclear program.
I feel like he was his
hero.
He was an instigator. That was his biggest thing, was it not?
Yeah, he was always in your
Yes.
head,
Yeah,
but did
yeah,
it
yeah.
well. And then Bill Laimbeer would be the
Same
big
thing with
asshole who'd knock you
Reggie
out,
Miller was that way too.
But Rodman wasn't.
which is so funny.
He
'cause
didn't
you
get
think of him as this
physical,
little
like-
dude.
Yeah.
He didn't get physical like the NHL. Like that guy.
No.
Those guys.
Right.
They're not there to get in your head. They're there to pull the shirt over your head.
Yes.
And kick the shit out of you.
If you've never seen the fight with Jay Beagle, look it up. Just YouTube Jay
Wilson and Beagle?
No. It's when Beagle was a cap. It was against the Flyers or a Penguin, and this dude fucking pummels Beagle. Like, one or two punch, and Beagle is sleeping with his frostbitten cheek on the fucking ice. Oh, my God. It is ruthless, dude. But,
I got to while we're talking hockey.
yeah.
Anyone who hasn't had a chance to listen to the Radio Lab podcast,
That's a really good episode.
called the Punchline.
Yeah.
That is the greatest hockey story in the
Is it recent?
Yeah, it's probably about 2 months ago that they did
I feel
it.
like I know I heard it because I listened to all the.
It's about the guy John Scott, who was exactly that. He
Oh,
was a
yeah.
bruiser, kind
Yeah.
of a slow-footed bruiser he was just a journeyman who would play for all kinds of different teams in the NHL. And the fans used to get to vote one person into the All-Star game. And another podcast, that was a hockey-based podcast, had made a joke like, we should vote John Scott in.
Because he has like the worst skills.
Yeah, because he was the worst player, and he's just a
As
bruiser.
an FU to the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So then this managed to end up picking up
viral.
steam,
Yeah.
and everyone started sharing it. And so this little like podcast, it was probably a podcast like hours,
Yeah.
but someone picked up on it.
Millions of listeners.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, they're
Yeah.
big time, big time, huge.
Yeah.
And so
Huge.
they like got it out there. Well, the word kept spreading, and people kept doing it. And it's the story of how the NHL did literally
They tried to block him, right?
everything in
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
power to keep this guy from getting in. And then it really turns into like a true Rudy story. I find it to be. I
was a
remember
really good
hearing it.
episode.
I
Yeah.
heard it like in real time, like when it happened, and I never understood the gravity
Yeah,
of
because
it.
that actually was only a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was more recent history than you would think. It wasn't
It's
like
in the
20
last-
years ago.
5
Yeah,
years, I
yeah.
would say. And
Like the NHL threatened him, and he told him that he wasn't backing down, and then like
Oh, they traded him. His
They traded
team
him.
traded him to
Yeah.
another league.
Yes.
traded him to a
Another-
minor league team, but there was no clause in there that said a
Yeah.
minor league player couldn't get. So the
yeah,
the
Yeah.
fans kept voting him like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you! I'm putting that dude in."
Well, yeah, and
It's
then
a
of course as
great
they started
story.
tightening the screws, the fans got pissed.
yes,
And they were like, "Nah, man, we want this dude in."
Yeah, because then it started getting.
And how do you think it's going to go if you let the fans pick a popular player? Like they're going to pick a popular player, and that happens in baseball all the time.
I mean, this is why you have boats called Bodie McBodie Face.
right.
You know, when a government says you can
Yeah,
name
yeah.
our new boat, like, okay, Bodie McBodie Face is
Yeah,
definitely the
exactly.
one.
Yeah.
You know, it's people like to have fun. I mean,
Yep.
this is what makes fans, and it's a good thing. And the NHL did literally everything in their power to get rid of it. But then to hear how it plays out,
yeah, don't
it's-
spoil the ending.
That's what I'm saying. To hear how it all plays out, it really is an excellent podcast.
Yeah, it
So,
was a Rudy moment.
yeah, go over to Radio Lab and check out the Punchline. It's
Pretty good.
It's a damn good episode.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah,
They'll know.
yeah. Reach out to Jad, Jad Applrod.
Yeah,
and tell him-
Abramrod.
Yeah, and tell him, oh, Inside the Pallet House sent me, and he'll be like, that's my favorite show.
Yeah,
he emails us a lot.
Yeah, he
these
does.
days. He's weird.
always looking for ideas.
Creeper.
No, I'm like, dude, we're saving them for the B-sides episodes. You know, you're not getting that one.
We're not
from
giving
us.
you another story. Yes, we're the #1 sports podcast in Richmond.
Hey, we talked more sports tonight than
Yeah,
ever. We might
did.
actually get that win one day. I mean,
again.
But earn it maybe by actually fucking talking about
We'll get
sports.
a trophy this time.
Yeah. For a podcast that prides itself on not talking about sports, that was an odd one.
Yeah.
Say the least.
Take it.
So, yeah, I'll take it every time.
For sure.
So, speaking of sports, though, I do want to watch the second half of this game.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go ahead and
it's about all tied up here.
We're going to punch out. If you guys haven't had a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, I would love it if you would do it. That's real easy.
I'd like it too.
Grab someone's phone, sign them up for the show. It's a simple move, but it does us a lot of good.
Helps us
to say
out.
the least. It also helps us if you go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. Go over wherever it is you get podcasts, give an old 5-star rating, write a review. It helps bring us up when all the other podcasts in your queue are there. Then they say, hey, you might like this one too. So we would appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance, did I preach or preach?
No, you nailed it.
Nice. Reach on out to us at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com if you have any topics you want to talk to us about. Or you can always text Troy at 804.
That's right.
The look, he shot up quick. Yeah. You reach out to us on Twitter and Instagram.
You wouldn't know my number without looking it up anyway.
That's a fact. Yeah. Or you can always find us on our Facebook page, and then Troy or Ely will check it out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Later.
That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?